So now that you collected all of your evidence, well, most of you have, in your graphic organizer, what you're going to do next is look at the evidence and come up with strong reasons based upon your evidence, right? I'm going to teach you how to do this. So the first way you want to do this is basically this. You're going to take your graphic organizer, and if you want to even print out your graphic organizer, if that helps, you totally can do that. And you're going to look over all your evidence. Then you're going to put your evidence into categories. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Then what you're going to do is based upon your categories, that's how you're going to create your reasons. So you may find that tons of evidence fits into one category, but then you only have one bit of evidence that fits in a particular category. So then what you would do is you would not even use that evidence. So that's why I said the more evidence you collect, the better off you are, because you're going to find that all of your evidence is usable. So you have to make sure when you're doing this that your reasons are not examples, right? So you're taking your categories, and then what you're going to do is you're going to turn that category into a reason, right? So let me show you what I mean. So if this was my reason, right? I went through my evidence, I categorized it, and I came up with reasons. Pens are down, eyes are up here. So one reason was, so my thesis is screen time should be limited for children, right? Basically, that's what I'm saying. And so one of the reason I have is it disrupts children's sleep, causing them to do poorly in school. This is actually, to me, this is almost like two different things. So disrupting your sleep, that has to do with what category? When you're not getting enough sleep. Raise your hand. That has to do with what? Yeah. So to me, this could fall. So this particular evidence, or this, I'm claiming this a reason, this is actually falls under the category of health, right? But then this right here, doing poorly in school, my category could be academics.
Education.
What's that?
Education.
Yeah, but I'm sophisticated, so I like academics. All right, so another example is excessive screen time can increase the risk of obesity. So this is an example. It's not a reason. So obesity falls under what category? Tell the person next to you. All right, say it out loud. What is it?
Health.
Yeah. So this falls under health. So now I have two bits of evidence for health. So I'm thinking that maybe this whole category of health, I'm turning it into a reason, right? So my next one is, according to research, children spend 5 hours in front of their screens, which leads to poor social skills. So this right here, I have two things going on in here. 5 hours in front of their screens. So this is like evidence, but this right here is my reason. So I could say my category could just be social skills. All right, so what about this one? Causes kids to smoke and do other drugs. Would you say those are examples, or is that a reason? Okay, so what would my category be? They're smoking, they're doing drugs, and this is the hard part, is you have to come up with the categories. So what would you say, Chris?
Peer pressure. No.
It could be peer pressure. All right, or it could be like inappropriate. Well, go ahead.
Help. I said that.
No,
Yeah.
it will impact your health.
Right, that's a cause and effect reaction. Antonio.
How would that lead to doing drugs?
But don't worry about it. I'll show it to you in my essay. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm thinking this right here. To me, this is behaviors. Like it falls under the category of behaviors, right? Okay, so let me show you exactly what you're going to do, right? So here you have your graphic organizer. So I have my model up here, all right? So I have it in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at each of my evidence. And if you notice, my evidence is pretty much explained. A lot of you are lacking explanations. So a lot of your evidence is actually looking like this. So on a little side note, you have to make sure that you explain your examples. So for example, if I say it increases chances of attention problems, I need to explain that in my graphic organizer. All right? So let's start off with this one right here. So it says, University of California conducted a study which was published in the Journal of Computers and Human Behavior. The study included two groups of 6th graders. One group went to an educational camp, and the other continued on with their normal everyday life. This went on for 5 days. After the 5 days, both groups were shown images of about 50 faces. The camp group scored higher reading the emotions of the faces and the pictures than the other group. So if I had to come up with a category, I got to create a category. So this is talking about the fact that they had the ability to read other people's emotions. So what category would you call that? And I think the harder part of this is just coming up with categories. So that has to do with what? Yeah.
Like social.
Perfect. So to me, this is like a social, like what would you want to say? Like social skills? I mean, okay, so this right here, if you notice on the right-hand side, I added a column called category. And this is where you're going to write your category. So this would be fall into the category of social skills. Okay. So the next one says, kids have difficulty sleeping at night. University of Gothenburg psychologist Sarah Tomei, one study's lead researcher, says viewing the blue light that comes out of iPhone, iPads, etc. right before bed affects melatonin levels, which is the hormone that helps you get a restful sleep. This can cause sleep to be disruptive or delayed getting to sleep. Turn and talk. Tell the person next to you, what category would you put that under?
Health.
All right, everyone agree? What would it be? Yeah, so that'd be health. Now here's the deal though. There's 2 types of health. What are the 2 types of health? Perfect. There's mental and physical health. So I'm going to be a little bit more exact. I'm going to turn this into...
It kind of affects both.
But the evidence is really only pointing at the physical health. It says nothing about, okay, well then if you are deprived of sleep, then how would that affect
you? Kind of like the cause and effect like you were
Right,
saying before.
exactly.
Like smoking will eventually cause health issues, but right now.
All right. So then my third one says can cause obesity. The more time kids spend in front of the screens, the less time they are doing physical activities. The less physical they are, the less calories they burn, which will lead to weight loss. Also, ads often appear, and at times these ads are for unhealthy food. The target audience is kids, so these ads aim for food they would eat. When they see the ads, it can cause them to eat those types of foods. In general, kids eat more when they are sitting around in front of their screens. So this has to do with what category? Health. Say it if you know it.
Health.
Yeah. So right now, I'm going to put physical health. So right now, it looks pretty good for me to come up with a reason based upon physical health because I have at least 2 pieces of evidence to support that. But what you're going to see happening is, first of all, I think what's going to happen is you're going to see you have so much evidence for a particular category, and then you might only have a couple pieces of evidence for another category, and then there might be something on here you're like, I don't even know what this evidence is. It doesn't fit into any category, and it doesn't even make sense. So that's why I said you want to fill in more rows because I guarantee you're not going to be able to use every single thing that you put in all the rows. So the last one says, increases chances of depression. Majority of tweens and teens use apps such as Snapchat and Instagram. Viewing the apps can be harsh for some. Other kids display their lives on these apps, friends they have, parties they go to, sports game they excel at, family vacations. Not all kids have this, and seeing this may cause them to become depressed. So what category, turn and talk, what would that be in? Wait, I hear you help. Mental health. That would be mental health, right? Okay, so what I would do is I would continue with all my 20 or 30 pieces of evidence, whatever bit of evidence you have, to come up with categories. Then what we're going to do on Monday is we're going to take these categories, you're going to figure out which categories you really want to focus on and turn them into strong reasons, right? Okay, so what questions do you have about what you're supposed to do? Okay, so go ahead and get started.